Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news. We're going to be talking about De Jong, Sesko, a few other... In fact, I got asked a fantastic question that I really do want to bring into the show tonight. And it was effectively along the lines of, do people like McTominay, Maguire and others get picked because of the homegrown rule? And we'll delve into that because the honest answer is no, but it does open up a question about the makeup of the United squad that probably never gets asked as well. But we've learnt a lot today. I want to get into De Jong. I want to talk about Sesko. I want to talk about a few things because there's a lot coming out of Barcelona today. There's a bit coming about Sesko, Benjamin Sesko, this Salzburg striker. And what did we learn today? And I think we learned quite a lot. I mean, we've learned that it doesn't matter how good you are at football, you can wear your collar up. So it's collar up Saturday night. You know, you don't have to be good to do it. Anyone can do it. So thanks, Scotty, for that. But on a more serious note, I think that what we learned today, my match reaction said it, is that we're nowhere near ready. Welcome to Members Club, Nathan Wood. But I did a Community Shield watch-along between Liverpool and Man City. And, oh, you know what? Having watched United, Atletico Madrid, and then watching Liverpool against Man City, sit down pre-season doesn't matter. Of course it doesn't. But the difference between Liverpool and Man City is worlds apart from where United or Atletico Madrid are, to be fair. We're just nowhere near that. And we never would be anywhere near that. And I think it was a reality strike that we're bloody miles away from where we need to be. And it doesn't matter how good Erik ten Hag is. He cannot work a miracle with those players. We're miles and miles and miles and miles off Liverpool and Man City. And that doesn't mean that we can't beat them on our day, because even Ollie could do that. But we are miles off. And it's nothing to do with the coach. Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag could be the best coach in the world. We're miles off that. And they're not even playing in top gear. They're playing pre-season football. And the fluidity, the chemistry, the idea, the structure, you can just see it with Liverpool and Man City. And we're right on the bottom rung of the ladder. We've got such a mountain to climb. And I think it's important to remember that. No matter what you think about individual players, no matter what you think about the board, we are miles and miles. It's the board's fault ultimately, but we're miles and miles behind. And all right, we might not be prepared for this season. I think it's very, very fair to say that we're not prepared, we're not ready. But even if we did have Anthony and De Jong and Ronaldo wanted to stay, we'd still be miles behind Liverpool and Man City. So look, we're a long way off and there's a lot of work to be done. And I think that's what we've learned today. We've got some comments from Erik ten Hag to come in. But the first thing I want to talk about is De Jong. I think what many of us feel about the De Jong deal is that it's boring. And I accept that. And I'm sure many of you accept that. But it's becoming very, very clear, if it wasn't very clear to many of you already, that if we don't get De Jong... I mean, look, what's the title? De Jong or bust? I think we learnt that today. If we don't buy a midfielder, and let's be honest, it's got to be De Jong because we've spent all summer on De Jong. I really don't agree that on August the 1st, I mean, I know it's not August the 1st yet, but we're doing nothing tomorrow. So Monday's August the 1st. I do not believe that on August the 1st, you can suddenly go, let's go for a new midfielder. Having spent 3 months chasing Frankie de Jong, you've got to get that player. It's the manager's obsession. You've got to get him. If we don't get him, I think we're screwed this season. I really do. And I know that puts more and more pressure on the deal. But I think it is De Jong or bust. And I think even with De Jong, it might not make us better. But I think that if we've got any aspirations of finishing in the top 4, you've got to get that De Jong deal done. Because there is absolutely no way that midfield is good enough. Whether you think Donny is, whether you think McTominay is or Fred is. I mean, I didn't think the midfield last summer was good. But I'd take Matic and Pogba back now in a heartbeat. Just to have some players in the midfield who are better than what we've got. We've got to get that De Jong deal done. And even that might not be enough, but we're so short and we're so short of quality and discipline in that midfield. He's got to get De Jong in. 100% has to get that deal done. And if he doesn't, there's just literally no quality in that midfield. So it has to get done. What's happening with Ronaldo, I'll talk about in a bit, Marcel. But the interesting thing coming out of Spain today, and we've not really had much coming out of the English press, but I do monitor the Spanish press. They're getting more and more confident that they're going to get Bernardo Silva. But 3 or 4 outlets and journalists are talking about Bernardo Silva's willingness to join Barcelona from Manchester City. But every one of them are saying De Jong has to go if they sign Bernardo Silva. So, look, the thing is, I watched Man City play today and Bernardo Silva was deeper than Rodri a lot of the time. And I'm thinking, if Barcelona are going to get Bernardo Silva and Man City don't want to sell him, why would Man City not just sign De Jong? I've never met a more pet player than De Jong anyway. So I'm thinking, I mean, is that a threat? A Chelsea a threat? I mean, he's going to leave Barcelona. I've always been confident of that. And I'm still 90% sure that he'll come to Manchester United. But there is a threat of another club just going, yeah, let's move for him. I mean, we've seen it all summer. So terrifying what might happen with that. But 100% we've got to get it done. There's still a willingness from Barcelona to sell. There's still all this talk about wages. I know Laporta was on about wages, pay cuts and all sorts of stuff. But he's owed so much money. It will happen. Barcelona are coming back, I think, tomorrow. So I expect things to start moving with De Jong. But remember, La Liga doesn't start till the middle of August. So De Jong's not in a massive rush to be playing for a club next weekend. I mean, if he was staying at Barcelona, he wouldn't start his season till the middle of August. Even if we signed him on Tuesday, he wouldn't play against Brighton. His fitness levels would be nowhere near. So we're not starting the season with the midfield we wanted. And I'm not going to go over old ground, but we're starting the season completely ill-prepared. And that could be risky. It could be really risky. Hopefully it won't be. But we have to get that deal done. We have to get that deal done. The midfield is completely and utterly inept. And look, I heard some of the stuff that Ten Hag said today, and we'll go through it. But I actually disagree with a lot of what he said. I don't agree that we played well. I don't agree that we controlled the midfield. I watched that game back again. And I think that, well, I didn't watch all of it. I didn't have time. But I watched the second half back again because I think that's where I had the most issue. And we fell out. We fell off. We lost control of the midfield if we ever had it. The fitness levels, I don't think, are that good of the team. I think we're fading in the second half, personally, in my opinion. And I think games are won and lost in the midfield, and at the moment the midfield is a huge issue. I mean, we can talk about Maguire and Lindelof, but to be honest, today they weren't a massive issue. The midfield was the issue for me. Don't you think we are on the right path, at least with Ten Hag? 2 or 3 windows forward, and my feeling is we'll be a lot closer, says Tobias. You know what, Tobias? I like that comment, but I think you're making excuses. Like, I like that positivity, and I think there's nothing wrong with saying 2 or 3 windows and we'll be on the right track. But this is where these are the sort of comments the Glazers love. Because, oh yeah, 2 or 3 windows and we'll be a better position. But where's the midfielder, Tobias? Where's the attack? Like, you can't just look at it and go, oh, I'm a fan of Ten Hag, give him 2 or 3 windows, we'll be fine. Like, the window is shit. It's an absolutely shit transfer window. And you're getting confused with backing the manager and not highlighting what a bad window it is. Yes, 2 or 3 windows is fine for Ten Hag, and I think we are on the right track. But this window is nowhere near delivered. Every transfer window should be marked out of 10. And at the moment, ours is a 2, as far as I'm concerned. You might want to give it a 3, 4, maybe even a 5. I would give it a 2. We haven't bought a midfielder. We've got no depth in the attack. And none of the deals have been done quick enough. Even, Martinez isn't fit enough to play 90 minutes at the moment. Eriksen could only play 20 minutes, half an hour. So even the signings that we've brought in, only Malasia's really ready. What have we been doing for 3 months? Next to nothing. John Murtaugh's been working from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night for the last 3 months. He's definitely lost his login for his laptop, hasn't he? Because what's he been doing for 15 hours a day? I mean, I've just read from Romano that the Nunez deal was in trouble. They solved it in 4 hours. Murtaugh would love to know what book they read. Evening, Mark. The state of the club is dreadful. I don't blame De Jong not wanting to come. Says Mikael. Mark, how was your trip, mate? Need you fully rested for the season ahead? How do you think Erik ten Hag manages Ronaldo's ego with Martial also expected to start, says Tamer. I'm not interested in egos because that's what managers' jobs are, to manage egos. But I tell you what, yeah, look, I've said it before. If you don't think we don't need Ronaldo, I don't know what game you watched today. And I don't know what bench you were looking at. I mean, we're crying out for a player like that. Sorry to say, but Benny McCarthy is not the best in class, and I'm South African. The standards are not what it's meant to be, says Samir. I mean, Benny McCarthy is an interesting appointment. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. But there's a lot. Look, there's a lot of things. Let's talk about what Ten Hag said about today. I want to talk about Sesko as well. But a few people talk. But look, I do want to just say there are developments around Bernardo Silva. Barcelona do want to sell De Jong, and I don't care who it is. I don't care whether it's Gary Neville, Erik ten Hag, or Gary Jones from Salford. I don't care who it is. The reality is, for me, we are not good in the midfield, and we are not ready to start the season. And people can dislike McFred, and they can want to differentiate between McTominay and Fred. And look, I've always said that Fred and De Jong probably would work. Ricky used to say McTominay and Matic would work. Like, separating those players is absolutely fine. We're not idiots. We know that Fred is Fred and McTominay is McTominay. But when they play together, they're McFred. You can't separate them when they're playing as a midfield too. It's McFred. Most of last season was McFred. Most of pre-season is McFred. There's nothing wrong with using a combination word for two players that play together in a midfield too. And that's what they do. Magaluf, Maguire and Lindelof. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And until we separate the two, they are McFred. And McFred are not good enough. I totally take on board that Fred had a very good first half, but he fell away in the second half. He deserved to be sent off. His discipline is off at times. Can Ten Hag teach Fred to be intelligent? He made a great tackle in the penalty box and then ran into another tackle and lost the ball. He misplaced a few passes. The question mark with Fred is his football intelligence. He's sometimes just not there. But when they play together, it's McFred. And I'll tell you what, I'll say it about Ten Hag as well. I don't think he's as stupid as Ollie was, but if he wants to go into this season and play McFred every week, he'll lose his job. At some point he will, because they ain't good enough. I think Bournemouth's midfield could argue that they're better than those two. So I will call them McFred because they started again today. They started a lot in pre-season. I'm not differentiating the two because the game is won and lost in the midfield, and that midfield too ain't good enough. And they can try all they like. All that happens when they try is they get exposed as having a lack of discipline, and they pick up yellow cards. Trying and passion is not going to be good enough. That's not what Man City and Liverpool are about. They've got quality players who try. We need more quality players. And until he breaks up that midfield and starts building midfield, he's going to struggle. And at the moment, I would argue that McFred is probably his best midfield. That's the problem. Like, is Donny and Fred better than McTominay and Fred? I mean, I'd like to think so. Maybe they are if they were given the opportunities McFred's been given. But, you know, I think this is the team we start off with, to be honest with you. But let's look at what Ten Hag had to say about the game. He said that let's have a look. So here we go. The players that played from the start. No. Completely missed that. Well, there was something else I wanted to say. What did he say? Okay, we'll go for this one. I think it was a tough workout and we contributed really well. I think the performance from our team was really good. So that I disagree with that. I've got no problem with the manager coming out with that. He's trying to build the confidence in the team, but I disagree with that. I think it was I think it was a tough workout, but you know what? I said this in the preview and I still stand by it. I thought we would have won this game 3 or 4-0, and I think we should have won it 3 or 4-0. Sevilla got battered by Arsenal, and Brighton battered another La Liga side. I don't think it's a coincidence. La Liga teams are miles behind Premier League teams at the moment because their season doesn't start for another 2 weeks. They've played way less pre-season games. That's why Arsenal are smashing Sevilla. That's why Brighton are smashing another Spanish side. They're changing a lot of their players after an hour. Some of them at half time. Their fitness levels are not there. So I don't think we did play well today, because I think we should be sat here now talking about a 4-0 win, saying, well, it was probably because Atletico Madrid weren't at the races, but we took advantage. Brighton took advantage. Arsenal took advantage. I don't think we did play that well today. And I don't think the performance from the team was very good. I didn't recognise that performance like I recognised Ten Hag's system against Villa or Palace or even Melbourne Victory. I recognised, and Liverpool, I recognised Ten Hag's system from Ajax. I didn't recognise it much today. There was glimpses, but I don't think we did play well today. I really don't. I don't think we ever got hold of the midfield. I don't think we created enough chances, and that was surprising because I thought we were always comfortable defensively, but I don't think we used the ball well enough. I don't think we moved the ball quick enough. I don't think the intricacy was there. I think we massively missed Jadon Sancho. But I don't think we played that well today. And I think Eric is probably trying to build the confidence of the players. But I think we've played a lot better in other pre-season games so far. But what he did say that was quite interesting is, in the end, it's about the result, and the score was not good. You have to take benefits if you create chances. I think we created many chances to produce at least one goal. And that's the point. I'm not satisfied, and I've told the team it's not acceptable. Now, Ryan and Adam were at the game, and they were at the fan zone afterwards, and they said that Ten Hag and the players were kept in the dressing room for quite a long time afterwards compared to the other pre-season games. So I would imagine that Ten Hag wasn't actually happy with the players and spent a lot of time talking about the players, and he sort of lets it out there. It's not acceptable. But when you look back at that game, I don't think that we had loads and loads of chances, to be honest with you. I felt that the chances that we had, I mean, Maguire should have scored, Martial should have scored, Alanga probably should have scored, and Rashford and Pellistri should have done better with a chance. So he's right, we probably should have scored a couple of goals, which would have been enough to win the game. But we didn't have chance after chance after chance, is what I'm trying to say. But I don't think we played better than we did against Villa. I've watched the game a couple of times now. Well, I've watched the second half twice. I don't think we did play well today. I don't think there is an excuse for losing that game, and I think that's what Ten Hag's talking about. And I don't know how you can say we played well. I mean, I'll throw this back to the chat who said we played well. How did we play well when you did your player ratings and you're giving McTominay a 5, Bruno a 5, Martial a 5, Alanga a 5, I think Rashford got a 6. How did we play well then when half of our team you were giving below average performances? So I don't know how suddenly people are saying we played well when the vast majority of you gave us low player ratings for most of the team. So I don't know how that works. I accept it. We didn't play well today for whatever reason. We didn't, and I think we're going to have to step it up. And I think it would. I don't think Ten Hag had. I don't think it will be lost on Ten Hag that we didn't play that well. In more positive news, he spoke about the team for tomorrow, because look, we're only at half time. We've got Rayo Vallecano tomorrow. It will be a much changed team, and he said that the players that played from the start will not be playing tomorrow. So nobody who starts tomorrow. So no McTominay, no Maguire, Fred, Bruno, Martial, Rashford, etc. But it will be a different starting 11. There are players who came on against Atletico Madrid who can start tomorrow. So that would mean Donny could start, Eriksen could start, Lisandro Martinez should start. So we're not going to do a preview for Vallecano, but I can imagine Heaton will be in goal, probably Wan-Bissaka off the right. I don't think Shaw will be well enough to play, so probably play Tellez. Should be Lisandro Martinez and Varane at centre-back, I would expect, unless Varane is carrying an injury as well. Midfield probably will be maybe Garner, Donny, Eriksen, and then Ronaldo through the middle with who knows on the right. So could be quite an exciting team, because we should see Eriksen start. Ronaldo should be involved, and I think Lisandro Martinez will make his debut as well. And on Ronaldo, he said tomorrow he will be in the squad. We'll see how long he can play for. So Ronaldo plays tomorrow. If you go into the game, I think you're going to get an exciting one. Lisandro Martinez debut, Ronaldo back, and I think Eriksen will probably start as well. So yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow. Who will be the captain tomorrow will be quite interesting. Iqbal could get a start as well. So I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I am. I think I was always looking forward to seeing Ronaldo play. I think I'm always looking forward to seeing Ronaldo play in a United shirt. But also seeing Lisandro Martinez playing in the midfield is an exciting thing as well. Sancho could play tomorrow. I don't think he will, but he could do. Luke Shaw could play. We'll have to wait and see. Emmanuel says it'll be Bailly and Lisandro. Well, that wouldn't make any sense. Rafael Varane is part of our future. Eric Bailly isn't, unfortunately. So unless Varane's carrying an injury, I don't think he will. He might come on for Lisandro after an hour or so. Ahmad could play off the wing. Mabry could play. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Just on a bit of transfer news as well. I want to dive through quite a few things today. But Romano has spoken about Sesko. Manchester United are exploring a deal for Benjamin Sesko. There's no official bid yet, but United have made multiple approaches with the player's side. Now, the stance from Salzburg is that they're not looking to move him on until 2023, summer of 2023, which is next year. But United are looking to do something there. I don't think this makes any sense, to be honest. I'm not disputing what Fabrizio says, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because if Ronaldo's staying, why would you buy another striker unless you're going to loan him back? If Ronaldo is going, why would a 19-year-old from the Austrian league be a sufficient replacement? So I'm a bit confused as to why we would be doing this deal either way, unless we're going to loan him back. More importantly, the price tag being spoken about is in excess of 30 million quid. We don't have 30 million quid at the moment to spend on a striker. We need Anthony. We need a winger. Today showed exactly what we need. Jadon Sancho is ill and Alanga starts. Marcus Rashford's out of form and Alanga starts. Marcus Rashford's injured, Alanga starts. Like, we've got no depth on the wing at all. And what did we see today? The right-hand side died because we didn't have Sancho. We need another bloody winger. And that's what we need more than anything. We need Anthony. We do. That's what we need. And I think that Benjamin Sesko looks very exciting. And I've had a lot of people messaging me today saying, oh, I can't wait for you to be going live to say that Sesko's been a done deal. And there's no doubt he's an exciting player. But like, we've got holes in this team. And it ain't that. The hole in the team is not a 19-year-old striker to nurture for the future for 30 million. The hole in the team is we need a midfield and we need it now. And we need depth off the wing and we need it now. And 100% we need that now. And that's where the money needs to be spent. So if Sesko's a bonus beyond Anthony and De Jong, come on down. But if he's now a priority, I'm sorry, I don't see that working out. And I don't see it working out at all. If he's the replacement for Ronaldo, I've never heard such nonsense in my life, buying an Austrian league striker who's 19 to replace Ronaldo. And if we're looking to buy him instead of Anthony, well, he ain't going to play off the wing. So I think we need to focus on the priorities. Today showed again the harsh reality that we need to focus on the priority. And the priority is that midfield has still got McFred in it. And the priority is that when Sancho's ill, we're playing Alanga off the wing. We're not ready. We've not got the quality. And you know, I'm looking at Man City. I'm looking at that Man City side, and they're taking off Grealish and Mahrez, and they're bringing on Foden and Alvarez. I'm looking at that Liverpool team, and they're taking off Nunez, and they're bringing Firmino on, and they've still got Jota and other players. They've got quality players. We don't have any depth, and there's question marks about whether our starters are good enough. I mean, look, we're all presuming Rashford's a good player. What if Rashford has a season like last year? He's a starter every week. What if he doesn't play well? We need to solve these problems, and we need to solve them very, very quickly, because I look at that game against Liverpool, our third game of the season, and I think, you know what? Interesting. Old Trafford, under the lights on a Monday night, anything's possible. But realistically, Liverpool against Man United, when it matters, I think we're massive, massive underdogs, and we don't want to be handed our arse on a plate under a new manager. I mean, I don't want my mind to wander here, but imagine we beat Brighton and we beat Brentford, and we've got 6 points, and we still haven't got De Jong, and we still haven't got Anthony, and we play Liverpool, and everyone's like, yes, if we beat Liverpool, we've got maximum points. We play Liverpool and they beat us 4-0 and they play us off the park. What happens then? New manager has had his arse handed on a plate at Old Trafford. He hasn't got the signings. I mean, you can just imagine the reaction to that. Why put yourself in that position? Why even risk putting yourself in that position? If you're Richard Arnold, why can't you read the room? Why can't you read the room that there's a chance that when we play Liverpool and only Erik ten Hag's third game, he could get absolutely annihilated? And the first reaction of any fan is going to be, why have you put him in that situation as a CEO? Why have you put a brand new manager, a lamb to the slaughter, in front of his own crowd against Klopp and Liverpool? Why have you not got him the players in? And I think this is one of the most important things to discuss from the summer so far. We're playing Liverpool in the third game of the season. Massive game. The last time we played them at Old Trafford, they annihilated us. Why would the CEO, the Glazers and the Director of Football put this new manager in a situation where he hasn't got his key signings to play Liverpool his third game? What if he gets demolished? How damaging could that be to his project? How damaging could that be to the future of United? And why has he been put into that position? Now, hypothetically speaking here, we might beat Brighton and Brentford and we might beat Liverpool 1-0 and we've got 9 points and everything's happy. But there is a risk that that won't happen. There is a risk that we will get smashed by Liverpool at Old Trafford. And if we do, I put it squarely on the shoulders of the negotiators and the recruitment team for not providing Ten Hag with the team that actually he's comfortable with. It's a risk. Haaland's 6'4", Nunez is 6'2", Sesko is 6'4". We need him. Well, Shinji, do you want McTominay in the team because he's tall as well? Do you think McTominay should be the backup striker? Oh my God. Saturday night, innit? Terp says the toxicness will come again this season. I don't know. I have faith in this fan base. I have faith in the fan base that they're intelligent enough to realise that Ten Hag is being set up unfairly here. I think there are people out there that wanted Pochettino. I'm talking about the media. I think they would start talking about a manager being out of their depth, the job being too big, Eredivisie crap and all that. But the danger for me, obviously, is that we're just not prepared. And we're not prepared because we haven't recruited efficiently enough. And look, I'm surprised Robert McCormack's not got in the chat, because I understand that some people would agree with this. Some people would say, you're talking about De Jong, but if Eric had said in the middle of June, we need to give up on De Jong, I need to start the season with my midfield sorted, go and get me another midfielder, go and get me Lema, go and get me Tillemans, go and get me whoever else is available, then we could have had a midfield sorted by now. And look, I'm not blind to the fact that Eric Ten Hag may well be sat there with John Murtagh saying, look, John, this is the man. I don't care if we don't get him till the end of August. He's the right man to get. To which the answer to that is, well, if we do get pummeled by Liverpool, then I suppose Ten Hag's got to take some responsibility himself for saying that, I'd rather wait for De Jong until we've played 5 or 6 games rather than getting the midfield ready for the start of the season. I mean, I'm sure Robert would say that if he was watching, and I'm sure some of you would agree with that. But, I still think that I can't answer that, actually. I can't answer that. Maybe Ten Hag would have to take some responsibility. But 10 years of crap negotiations would lead me more to thinking that most of this would come down to the board. Why was no one talking about the scouts of United? They are doing nothing, says Haroon. Ten Hag is another yes man for the Glazers, says Illa United. Matic is coming on for Roma, says Romario. And I think Manchester United should forget De Jong and focus on other players, says Evans. What I like about this channel is that you always say it when it's going wrong. I have seen other channels, they keep saying there is time, like they work for MUTV, and I hate it, says Steve. Well, you know what? I don't really care if people agree with me or anybody else in the chat. I think you should always be able to forge your own opinion. And what people don't understand is, I've been doing this for years, and I know if I say to you lot, you're an idiot for not wanting Ronaldo to stay. He's the best player we've got. You take Ronaldo out of that team, it's a huge hole in the team, and you're an absolute idiot if you don't want it to happen. I know that people will go, oh, well, wow, yeah, you say it's a fan channel and you're not listening. But what I also understand, what those people don't understand is that I know how this community works, and I know that there's layers. And I know if I say you're an idiot for not wanting Ronaldo to stay, it doesn't mean that everybody goes, well, I don't want to be an idiot. Goldbridge is right, so Ronaldo needs to stay. Because I see it in the chat. I'll see it in the replies. People will go, I'm not an idiot. I don't want Ronaldo to stay for this reason. And, it actually galvanises people who have an opposite opinion. If I tell somebody they're wrong, I'm not the Pied Piper. It will galvanise them. They will actually go, well, no, I really don't agree with him now. And that's how it works. That's how it should work. And, there will be some people in the chat saying, well, I don't know what you're moaning about. You're just being negative. There's plenty of time to do the deals that we need to do. You're right. There's not plenty of time. There's 4.5 weeks. Transfer window closes on September the 1st. 4.5 weeks. This transfer window shuts. 4.5 weeks. It's not very long. There's not long left. And United aren't very quick at doing deals. But if you're sat there going, there's plenty of time to go, I will just say this. Well done. If you're happy with that, you're happy with that. But we're playing Brighton a week tomorrow. We're playing Brentford the week after. We're playing Liverpool the week after that. 3 weeks we're playing Liverpool. 2 weeks we're playing Brentford, and 1 week we're playing Brighton. 4.5 weeks left of the window. We could have played 4 or 5 games by the time we get these signings done. So, we're not ready. I'm bored of saying it myself, but we're not ready. You cannot be in my opinion, you cannot be a United fan who goes, oh, I'm not stressed about the signings, there's still time to do them. Why are they not there for the first game of the season? Why have Spurs got Basuma in their midfield for the start of the season? Why have Liverpool got Nunez up front for their first game of the season? Why is Haaland up front for the first game of the season for Man City? Why have Arsenal got Zinchenko and Vieira and Jesus in their starting lineup for the first game of the season against Palace on Friday? Because they're prepared. So to those United fans who go, I'm relaxed, there's still plenty of time left in the window, my only answer is, why are you relaxed? Why is it acceptable for our rivals to have their players in their team for the first game of the season but not United? And why is that not a big advantage for them and a huge disadvantage for us? There is time left in the transfer window, and if that makes you feel happy, well done. My answer is this: we're not ready. The first game of the season was advertised a year ago. We all knew this season was going to start on August the 6th. United, for some reason, have decided we don't need to start this season ready. I think it's a problem. Sesko is a Man City surplus signing. Why aren't we actually trying to improve this team, says Patrick Martinson. Magaluf today and hopefully Varane and Martinez tomorrow, looking for the centre-back partnership. And would you drop Bruno box-to-box, Eriksen attacking midfielder, says Jacob. Is the back line good enough to be top four? Maybe not, says Litz. Well, I said it today. If you look at that United team that started today against Atletico Madrid, and you look at the Liverpool and Man City teams that started today, I would argue that not one United player starts for Liverpool or Man City. I've never known that. I've never known that. I've never really known that. Not one of United's starting 11, which is our strongest 11, apart from Sancho, who was ill. That team today probably starts against Brighton with Sancho on the right. Not one of those players that started today starts for Liverpool or Man City. That's shocking. And they don't. I mean, Malacia is good, but he ain't better than Robertson or Cancelo. I think De Gea is good, but I don't think he's better than Edison and he'd start in the goal for Liverpool, actually. Adrian started. So De Gea would have started in goal for Liverpool, definitely. But, and Sancho would have... I think Sancho starts ahead of Grealish, I do, if he's fit. But apart from that, we're miles off. I think some people... I think the best we could hope for this season is third. And that is a nosebleed. Is the back... So, I'm going to come back to that Bruno question. I'm not going to dodge it. Arsenal were not prepared last season and we saw how well that went for them, says the threefold path. And if Erik Ten Hag continues to play McFred, we are definitely going to get battered, says Endiv. Well, it's funny what you said about Arsenal there, actually, threefold, because I remember Arsene Wenger saying this a few years ago. He wanted the transfer window to close before the season started. And we did it. Remember a couple of years ago, we did it and they changed it back. The transfer window closed before the Premier League season started, I think the year before last and maybe the year before that. And that's because Arsene Wenger wanted it to, because he said it was a disadvantage to start the season when the transfer window is not shut because it damages the start to your season. And Arsenal have fallen foul of it a few times where they end up buying a lot of players in late August, but they've already played 3 games and they sometimes don't win them. I mean, Arsenal traditionally do start the season badly anyway. I remember Mickey Quinn scoring a hat-trick, and I think Mark Robbins did it for Norwich as well. But they had a tradition of getting beat on the opening day, Arsenal, years ago. But Wenger was wrong and right. I don't think the transfer window should close before the start of the season because it doesn't close in Europe, so it's a disadvantage. But he's also right that if you're still doing business in August, it severely impacts your team in the first few games of the season because you've got no fluidity, there's lots of change, there's lots of uncertainty. I mean, look, I love Ronaldo, I want Ronaldo to stay. Ronaldo could start up front against Brighton and be playing for another team in September. And that's disruption in itself. How much do you think Man United would pay for De Jong, says Hazards? It doesn't really matter, mate. We've agreed the fee. The fee's agreed with Barcelona. That's not why he's not a player. Michael says Bruno should be benched. Look, I think I don't find this difficult. I don't find it difficult, even though I got slated again. I gave Maguire a 7 out of 10 today. I thought he played well. He should have bloody scored. It was a horrendous miss. I mean, I don't know how he missed that. It was almost up there with Werner. It was a free header from 6 yards out. He should have scored. But defensively, I thought he did okay, so I gave him a 7. I gave Bruno a 5. I'd sell Maguire tomorrow. I wouldn't sell Bruno. Bruno's one of my favourite players. But I'll always analyse a game and try and be fair. I don't remember the last time I gave Bruno a good score. I mean, I thought he was horrendous in the last 5 or 6 games of the season, and I don't think he was much better today. I think he's positionally indisciplined. He's all over the place. And I don't think he played well today. I really don't. And I think he was petulant again. I think he was getting involved in arguments he didn't need to get involved in. Eriksen's going to start in that team. I said it on Twitter this afternoon. Eriksen is going to walk straight into that starting 11. The only debate point is where. Where is he going to start? Because when he came on, Bruno stayed on. Bruno went to the left. Eriksen went through the middle. So maybe Bruno's going to become a bit of a utility player. He can play false 9. He can play off the left. He can play off the right. Maybe that's Bruno's future. He's going to lose his number 10 spot to Eriksen. Maybe Eriksen will go off the right and Sancho will go off the left. Maybe Eriksen will play in a midfield too. But I'll tell you for free, Eriksen hasn't chosen United over Brentford to sit on the bench like Juan Mata did for years. Eriksen's going straight into that team. I just don't know where, but he is going straight into that team because he's better on the ball than Bruno. I'm not saying he's a better player than Bruno, but he's a better on the ball player. He knows how to look after the ball better, and Ten Hag wants people who can look after the ball. So I don't know whether Bruno gets dropped. I think that's a big assumption, but I think Eriksen's walking straight into that team, and I think he'll play tomorrow. And I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow because Vallecano are, they're a La Liga side. They'll be playing Atletico Madrid next season, so they'll give us a game tomorrow. We've got a lot of players whose fitness levels aren't the same as people who played today, so I think it'll be a good test. And but I think we'll be strong in key areas. Ronaldo up front, Martinez and Varane centre backs. I think Telles and Wan-Bissaka will be okay in a game like that. As long as we can construct a midfield, and I would like to see Donny and Eriksen in the midfield with maybe put a Savage in there, someone like that. I think we'll be all right. Is it last season for Varane if injuries continue, says Yash? Well, this is the question I wanted to answer. Somebody said this today, and it was very interesting. And what they basically said to me was, I think it was on That's Football. It might have been on United Stand. I saw it and then I never really mentioned it. How many games do you think Van der Beek will play? I don't know, Hazard's Racing. I think he's got a big season ahead of him, to be fair. But somebody said to me today, and the specific question was, do McTominay and Maguire get picked over Donny and Varane because of the homegrown rule? And the answer is no. But the homegrown rule, and I might get aspects of this wrong, there is a homegrown rule in the Premier League, right? You can pick a squad of 25 players, but 17 of them have to be... only 17 of them can be non-homegrown. Which means 8 of them have to be homegrown, or you have to pick a less squad. So you could pick 23 players with 6 homegrown, but you can't have any more than 17 non-homegrown players. A homegrown player isn't just an English or British player. It's somebody who's been registered with the club for 3 consecutive years before their 21st birthday. And that club has to be a British club. So, of course, Harry Maguire's homegrown because from the age of 16 he would have been registered with an English club. But Paul Pogba was classed as homegrown because he was registered at Manchester United for 3 consecutive years before his 21st birthday. So it can work that way. That's not why Maguire gets picked over Varane, and that's not why McTominay gets picked over Donny. The homegrown rule is not the reason. However, United always must have 7 homegrown players, and we can only have 17 foreign players, if that's what you want to call it. The homegrown rule is not why Maguire gets picked over Varane or McTominay gets picked over Fred. There's over Donny. There's other reasons for that. Hopefully, the manager thinks they're better, but recruitment is United's problem. Are the 7 or 8 homegrown players good enough for what we need? How many of our homegrown players are actually good enough to wear a Man United shirt? Because if you think about our homegrown players, the likes of Rashford, Sancho, McTominay, Maguire, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, basically a lot of your British players, are they good enough to be our 7 or 8 non-homegrown players? Of course, if you're under 21, you're not classed as the 25 squad anyway. You can have as many under 21s playing for you as you want. And also, flip that coin, are our 17 non-homegrown players good enough to be our 17 non-homegrown players? Tell us. Tellez. You know, there's plenty of others that you go, are they good enough? So the homegrown rule is not why we have British players playing that you don't want to play. The major problem with Man United is not the homegrown rule. It's not how many foreign players we've got. It's just general recruitment. The recruitment of United over the last decade has been poor. And whether you're a homegrown player or you're a non-homegrown player, the quality level is just not what it needs to be. You know, there's plenty of non-homegrown players that really shouldn't be in the squad. Maybe there's a few homegrown players that shouldn't be in the squad, but that's not the reason why those things happen. And we're certainly not keeping McTominay and selling Donny if we did because of the homegrown rule. There'll be different reasons for that if it happens. Dalot's not good enough to start. We need to get Dumfries ASAP. 2 quality fullbacks, change the team. Look at Liverpool, says Mandor. I think right back is an important area. But we've got to sell Wan-Bissaka to do anything about that. Lissandro could fix our defensive midfield situation. Any word on outgoing, says Mac. Well, I was hopeful that Ethan Laird was going to Ajax. Apparently that's not going to happen. I was hopeful that Brandon Williams was going to Brighton. That's gone really quiet as well. I think Eric Bailly is probably quite easy to sell because he's actually decent. But no, nothing at the moment. I mean, I hate to say it, but we spoke about it on the last Sunday night? Surely we won't go through another week with nothing happening. We've gone through another week with nothing happening. And yeah, I'm not even going to say it this Sunday. I think we'll go through another week with nothing happening. I mean, it just doesn't look like anything's going to happen with United. It just doesn't look like we're moving the needle on anything, whether it's outgoings or ingoings. And it takes you back to what we've been discussing. Why is it acceptable for Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, Man City to have key signings in place for the start of the season, but United don't think it matters? I'd love one question with the CEO, and it would be, whether it's in a pub or not, why is it acceptable for our rivals to have their new signings in place for the start of the season, but you haven't bought anybody for our midfield or our attack, which are key positions, before the first game of the season? What makes us so special that we don't need to be prepared for the start of this season? We're bad enough as it is without handicapping ourselves even more. Like, why have we decided to hinder ourselves and hinder our manager? It's like playing golf with a handicap. Like, why are we starting the season like that? And how many points is it going to cost us by doing that? We don't know at the moment. I mean, technically we can win the league. No one's got any points. But realistically, why are we hindering ourselves? Why are we starting the season with one arm behind our back? I don't get it. And it just always seems to be the path with every manager that we recruit. You can't ever let them box fairly. It's always box with one arm behind your back. And yeah, you can throw a few punches, but eventually someone's going to find the way through because you've only got one hand. The problem is there is not plenty of time to get any new signings adequately prepared for the start of the season. It's critical for us to keep Ronaldo, says Blake, I think. I think that's what he said. I don't think United will be ready for the Brighton game, says David. I mean, look, when we let Lingard go, I was happy. When we let Pogba go, I was happy. When we let Mata go, I was happy. When we let Cavani go, I was happy. Matic, I was happy. Because I felt it was time to move on and time for a new start. If I was honest with you, I would take... And be honest in the chat, those 5 players I was happy to see go. New page, new start. Let's build a new squad. Right now, a week out from Brighton, I would take Matic and Cavani back in a heartbeat. In an absolute heartbeat. And probably Pogba as well. I know he's injured, but if he was... I don't know whether Cavani's injured or Matic is injured. But I would take Matic, Cavani and Pogba back right now, knowing what I know now. And at the start of June, I was happy to let them go. But right now, those 3 players would be very welcome additions to this squad, which is ridiculously short. Like, Cavani would be massively important to us now. Matic would be massively important. And look, Pogba's is definitely better than McTominay. So, you know, I don't want to say that. They need replacing. They needed to go. But why am I saying that now? Because that's how bad the recruitment's been. We could do with Cavani and Matic for sure. But I didn't want, not for Luke Shaw, but I mean for sure, like, we definitely do need them. 100% right to let them go. Or we didn't let them go anyway, they wanted to go. But how how embarrassing is it that I'm sat here saying I wish we had Matic and Cavani for the start of the season because we're short. We're short in the midfield and we're short in the attack. Just shows you how we haven't replaced. To be fair, Mark, they all had their manager way before, says Hickam. I don't know what that's in reference to, but it's probably something I was talking about before. Ewok Gaming says, do we think Martial could finally step into his own and be a quality striker if Ronaldo left? This may be my optimism taking, but I just thought, well, my only issue with that opinion is that I nearly said you're talking out your arse. That would be really rude. My only issue with that comment, so basically you're saying, is this chance, if Ronaldo goes, is this Martial's chance to shine? No. No. Because if Ronaldo goes, Martial's not enough. Even if Ronaldo stays, I don't think Martial and Ronaldo's enough. I think we need 3 forwards. So I don't think Ronaldo going means Martial steps up because he can't play 60 games. Martial's injury record's really bad, by the way. And he's inconsistent. So Martial, as much as I like him, there's an injury issue and there's a consistency issue. Are we likely to get Martial playing consistently well for 60 games without getting injured? I'd say the chances of that are lower than 20%. So I want Martial to stay. He will stay, and I think he's hopefully going to have a good season for us. But he will get injured and he will be inconsistent. So we need Ronaldo as well. The problem is, and I think this is what you're getting at, if we keep Ronaldo, will Martial get the hump? Because Martial got the hump when we got Lukaku, and he got the hump when we got Sanchez, and we got the hump when we got Cavani. I like Martial, but I think those questions have to be raised, that every time he's faced with genuine competition, his form seems to suffer. Has he matured enough to realise that this team needs competition for places? Nobody can live in a world where Anthony Martial is your only striker who plays every week. But it seems that Martial only seems to play well when that's the case. Even on pre-season, he played well. There was no one else who could play up front. Can Martial perform for us consistently when he's not starting every game? And we need a striker who can do that. And not everybody can do that, but we need a striker who can do that. Lukaku hated being on the bench as well. It'd be nice to see Garner and Donny in for Scott and Fred and Eriksen for Bruno tomorrow. I'd like to see that, Darren, yeah. Pogba's knee is expiring. Thank God he left, says Alvaro. Yeah, look, I know there's injury issues there as well. Benny McCarthy is United coach. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this. I don't really know a lot about it. It was a story that came out today. He's never played for Manchester United, so that's a positive. I think he's South Africa's all-time goal scorer. Look, you don't have to be the world's best striker to be the world's best coach. So don't judge Benny McCarthy as a striking coach because he missed a few sitters for West Ham. Like, that's not what a coach is. And my only question about this would be, whose idea was it to recruit him? And it better be Erik ten Hag's. And if it is, I'm happy. That's all I would say about that one. But look, I think that where I sit tonight is that I'm worried about the start of the season, but I still think we can beat Brighton and Brentford. I expect 6 points from the first 2 games of the season, whether McFred play or not. I do expect us to get 6 points. The Ronaldo situation, I think it's really important that tomorrow there's a smile on his face and there's a smile on the fans' face, because we need to do everything we can to keep him. Because if we lose him, we can't afford it. We saw today, that team has got a real lack of quality in it. We're not in a position where we can go, let's lose a quality player. We don't have enough quality, so we need him to stay, and hopefully that will be the positive tomorrow. Martinez, excited to see him. Hopefully Eriksen will play from the start. Let's see Garner and Donny play with him in a midfield 3. I'd like to see that. And then, De Jong flies back from the US on Monday. Let's hopefully start to see some development on him and Anthony, because I think as a bare minimum, we need those 2 players in ASAP. Obviously, they won't play against Brighton. They probably won't play against Brentford. But I'd like to be in a position where, I'm probably being a bit optimistic here, but 3 weeks until the Liverpool game, maybe, just maybe, we get 3 points against Brighton, 3 points against Brentford. Maybe we scrape it. Maybe we beat them. I don't know. Comfortably. But maybe in the next 3 weeks, we get 6 points against Brighton and Brentford. We sign De Jong and Anthony, and then we go into that Liverpool game with De Jong, Anthony and Ronaldo all here with 6 points in our pocket. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. And I don't care if we win against Brighton and Brentford, luckily. If we get those 6 points, no one can take them off us. And then maybe we go into that Liverpool game with De Jong and Anthony and Ronaldo and we start to build a proper team. It's probably pie in the sky, but that might be the best we can hope for at the moment because, you know, Brighton might give us a game next week and Brentford might give us a game as well. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, look, I'll be back in the morning. We'll do a show at 10 o'clock tomorrow because we have got a watch along again tomorrow afternoon, which I'm really looking forward to, actually. I don't know whether... Well, I will say it. I'm sort of looking forward to tomorrow's game more than today. And that was before today. I mean, obviously today's game wasn't that great, but I'm sort of looking forward to tomorrow. Not just because of Ronaldo, but now because it's Martinez's debut. Eriksen should start as well. Old Trafford. Ten Hag's first game in front of the Old Trafford crowd. So I'm quite excited about tomorrow. And the opposition's decent. Real Vallecano are not a bad team. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Thanks everyone who tuned in tonight. Really appreciate it. You're legends. Can I just say as well, a lot of people have been asking me today about whether we've got a Fantasy Premier League. We have. It's in the members section at the moment. If you are a member, go to the members videos. You'll see all the Fantasy Premier League videos. It's got the code. It's got my team at the moment. If you want to become a member, I've dropped the link in the video chat there. Join the members club. You get your badge and everything like that. And we have got a Fantasy Premier League code. So there you go. Get involved. If you go in tomorrow, scream and shout for Martinez and Ronaldo. Let's get that positive vibe. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Have a good day, evening, whatever you're doing. Take care, everybody. And yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Let's see what we can do. Thanks for watching.